Hello students, so welcome back. In this part of the video, we're going to learn what exactly is quadratic equation. Specifically, in this part of the video, what are you going to learn? What is quadratic equation, how to frame quadratic equation, and how to solve quadratic equation by factorization method. So these are like the three targeted areas what we're going to focus in this particular part of the video. So let's see what is quadratic equation. Say suppose any equation in the format of ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0, where a is not equal to 0, then that is quadratic equation. So this is called as standard form of quadratic equation. What is this called as? Standard form of the quadratic equation. Now, why this a should not be 0? See, suppose the moment you put a is equal to 0, this term becomes 0, and then the highest power becomes 1 of the quadratic, of the equation. So then that cannot be quadratic equation. So what is quadratic equation? A quadratic equation who has highest power is 2, or else a equation which has two roots or two solutions. That is called as quadratic equation. And when that will be possible? When there will be the highest degree or the power of the equation is 2, then that is called as quadratic equation. I hope you understood. You finished writing till here. Please write down this quickly in your book. Now I'll give you example. What do you mean by this ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0 is a standard equation or standard quadratic equation where a should not be 0. What do you mean by that? Simple. See, look at this. The equation 1x square plus 2x plus 1 is equal to 0. This is quadratic equation because the degree is 2. The degree is 2. Now even this b and c can be 0, but a should not be 0. That's the reason we look at this. X square plus 2x or else ax square plus bx is equal to 0 is a quadratic equation. Ax square plus c is equal to 0 is a quadratic equation because the degree is 2. I hope students you understood. But the moment you put this a as 0, this becomes 2x plus 1. This becomes 2x plus 1. And in that case, the degree is, now the degree is 1. So if the degree is 1, then that becomes a linear equation. Linear equation is the equation which is represented by a straight line. And the quadratic equation is the equation. Okay, the linear equation is represented on the graph with this straight line. And the quadratic equation is represented on the graph with this. Okay, so suppose this is the line, then we're going to get this type of parabolas. Are you getting it? Some kind of parabolas will going to this would be the graphical representation of quadratic equation. I hope you understood the basic difference between the linear equation and quadratic equation. First of all, the graphical difference is like straight line and the curve, and the second one, the degree would be 2, and over here in the degree would be 1. And second thing, it is the standard format of ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0, and this is in the standard format of ax plus by is equal to c. Ax plus by is equal to c, or ax plus by plus c is equal to 0, something like that. I hope you understood till here. Anyone has any doubts or difficulties, you can definitely raise your hand. Now let's move ahead. So please write down in your book, quadratic equation has highest power is equal to 2 and the number of roots or the solution is equal to 2. This content has to be there in your book by default. Okay, and this will be the graph of you can say this will be the graph of quadratic equation. I hope you understood till here everything perfectly and you finished writing also in your book. Now it's time to move ahead, guys, to check whether you understood this content properly or not. Okay, so let's say, uh, is this a quadratic equation? X plus 1 upon x is equal to 0. Is this a quadratic equation? If yes, put tick, or else put cross. Okay, please do this quickly. Hurry up. Is x plus 1 upon x is equal to 0 is a quadratic equation? I'll just pause the video and think about it. I hope you got the answer. No? No problem. Just watch it over here. So x by 1 plus 1 by x is equal to 0. How we will simplify this? So students, never just look at the quadratic equation and decide whether it is quadratic or not. So for that, you'll have to simplify this. X into x will become x square plus 1 into 1 will become 1. Whole thing denominator will be 1 into x, and that's equal to 0. Now if we shift this x on the other side, it will become 0. So x square plus 1 is the standard form of the quadratic equations. So x square plus 1 is a quadratic equation. So ultimately, we understand that x square plus 1 upon x is a quadratic equation. So it is. So the answer will come yes, it is quadratic equation. You understood why x plus 1 upon x is a quadratic equation? So never just observe the equation, simplify and then check whether it is a quadratic equations or not. So just write it down. Always simplify and then check. Write it down. Always simplify. Always simplify and check. Okay. Don't just observe it and say the answer yes or no. So simplify करने के बाद we will understand that. Okay. Let's move ahead. So is this x plus 1 upon x square is equal to 0 is a quadratic equation? Say yes or no. Is x plus 1 upon x square is equal to 0 is a quadratic equation? Of course, when you'll simplify this further and further, you're going to get that this x square into x will become x cube plus 1. So that is not a quadratic equation because this will turn out as x cube plus 1 upon x square, which equals to 0, and when that x square will come along with it is 0, it will going to turn out as 0. So this will become a cubic equation. So this is not a quadratic equation. I hope you understood how to check whether it is a quadratic equations or not. Isn't it nice? I hope you understood this topic number 1. And now it's time, guys. We finished over here what is a quadratic equation or not. And now it's time to move ahead to check how to frame the quadratic equations. So I hope you all are writing, students. Please make sure that, guys, you are writing it everything very carefully. So how to frame a quadratic equation? Now there are two methods to frame the quadratic equation. So the first method is formula method. Okay. So now what is formula method? Say, let's see that we are doing the first sum. There are two roots given. First root is 2 and the second root is 1. Now do not write. I will give you time to write it down. Just keep your pens down and keep listening very carefully, students. So if there are two roots, one is 2 and the second one is 1. How are we going to frame this quadratic equation? Simple. First we're going to find the sum of these two numbers. So 2 plus 1 will become 3. Then we're going to find the product. What is the product? Product would be product of these two numbers, 2 into 1. So the answer product comes 2 and the sum comes 3. And now the formula to frame the quadratic equation is x square minus sum of roots into x plus product of the roots is equal to 0. What's the formula? X square minus sum of roots into x plus product of the roots is equal to 0. So please write it down this right now. Once you are finished with this, you'll have to just substitute the values. X square minus, what is the sum of the roots? Sum of the roots is 3. So minus 3x. Why minus 3x? Because negative sign was there. Sum of the roots was 3 into x. So therefore minus 3x. And what is the product of the roots? Product of the roots is 2. So what is the quadratic equation? X square minus 3x plus 2 is equal to 0. This is the required equation. I hope, students, you understood this perfectly, isn't it? Now you can pause the video over here and copy paste this entire question quickly in your book. Hurry up, guys. Okay, students, now there is one another way to frame the quadratic equation when the two roots are given. When x is equal to 2 or x is equal to 1, it's given to us. We can frame the quadratic equation by this method also. It's just the reverse method of factorization. So x is equal to 2 means x minus 2, get this 2 on other side. So x minus 2 is equal to 0. And when x is equal to 1 means x minus 1 would be 0. And now when these two equations, if we'll multiply, so x minus 2 into x minus 1 will become is equal to 0. And then if x minus 2 into x minus 1 is equal to 0, that means x square, and now we'll have to just multiply this binomial with binomial. So x square minus x, okay, x square minus x minus 2x and plus 2 is equal to 0. So x square minus 3x plus 2 is equal to 0. So there are two methods to frame the quadratic equation. One would be, okay, I'm so sorry, just big. Okay, so these are the two methods. One would be sum product method, or this would be solving that factorization method in the reverse way. So these are the two ultimate methods to frame the quadratic equation. You understood, guys? I hope you understood what I mean. So please finish this quickly in your book. Hurry up, guys. I hope you finished writing this in your book. Okay, now if you've finished this, we will do one more extra sum. Just practice on this, okay? I hope you finished writing. No problem. So we'll move ahead. Please try doing this sum quickly in your book. 3 plus root 2 and 3 minus 2 root 2. So frame the quadratic equation. How to frame the quadratic equation? Say 3 plus root 2 is the first root and 3 minus root 2 is the second root. Now you can pause the video and solve by own and then check whether you get the right answer or not. You can do this method, sum, product, and then this formula. So try doing it. Okay, now how to frame this quadratic equation when the two roots are given 3 plus root 2 and 3 minus root 2? I hope you got the answer. If not, please check this next part of the video. See, the sum of roots will going to become 3 plus root 2 plus 3 minus root 2. So plus root 2 and minus root 2 will get cancelled. So 3 plus 3 will become 6. So this has become our sum of the roots. And then was the product of the roots. So the product of the roots will going to be, we'll have to multiply these two roots, isn't it? 3 plus root 2 into 3 minus root 2. Now some people keep waiting. Okay, sir will do and then I'm gonna do it. Don't do, guys. Understand the meaning of the word product of the roots. Product means we'll have to multiply. So there is no harm to multiplying these two number, isn't it? So do not keep waiting for me. Just try it by your own, guys. Understand maths is to be done by your own. So 3 plus root 2 into 3 minus root 2. So this is a plus b into a minus b. So that's a square minus b square. So 3 square will become 9 and root 2 square will become 2. So 9 minus 2 turn out as 7. So we got the sum of the roots is 7 and the product of the roots, okay, sorry, sum of the roots is 6 and product of the roots is 7. And now what we have to do, students, we'll have to use this formula. That's x square minus sum of the roots into x plus product of the roots is equal to 0. So x square, what is the sum of the roots? 6x plus what is the product of the roots? 7, which is equal to 0. So this is the required equation, that x square minus 6x plus 7 is equal to 0 is the required equation. I hope students you understood. Isn't it very simple, guys? Isn't it very simple? Okay, now some people are asking, so what is that other method? Yeah, sure, I'll show you that other method also. So suppose if you're using that other method, what you'll have to do, x is equal to 3 plus root 2 or x is equal to 3 minus root 2. These are the two roots. So just get these both terms on other side. So you're going to get x minus 3 minus root 2 is equal to 0 or x minus 3 plus root 2 is equal to 0. Now when you'll multiply these, so you're going to get x minus 3 the whole square minus root 2 the whole square. This is a, basically look at this. There are no commas over here or brackets to be used. So this will become x minus 3 as one term, or that will become a, and this will become b. So a minus b into a plus b. So when we'll multiply these two, we're going to get a square minus b square is equal to 0. Now x minus 3 the whole square will become x square minus 6x plus 9 minus root 2 square will become 2, which equals to 0. Now, these will turn out as x squared minus 6x plus 7 is equal to 0. So, you do by either this method or by that formula method, the quadratic equation remains the same. I hope you understood this. Look at this. By either of the method, the equation is same. X squared minus 6x plus 7. Here is the equation and here is this equation, isn't it? So, you do by either of the method, the answers remain same, isn't it? I hope you understood till here everything. So we finished the two main topics of this topics perfectly. What we finished? What is the quadratic equation? And second one is how to frame quadratic equation. We'll do few questions based on this. And in the next part of the video, guys, I'll teach you how to solve the quadratic equation by factorization method. So meanwhile, we'll just do few more of sums based on these. I feel there are 2-3 questions can be more answered on this, how to frame the equation, and then we should move ahead with the next topic. So guys, let's do few more questions. Okay, 1 second, hold on. Okay guys, so we'll move ahead with the next question. Say exercise 5.1 from MLA. So 2 by 3 comma minus 3 are the two roots of the quadratic equation. 2 by 3 and minus 3 are the two roots of the quadratic equation. And the quadratic equation in the format of px square plus 7x plus q is equal to 0. Find the value of p and q. So guys, you can pause the video over here, solve these and tell me what are the values of p and q. Okay. Meanwhile, I'll just pause the video. Okay, guys. Now, I hope you got the answer. If not, please check the next part of the video. So 2 by 3 and minus 3 are the two roots. So from here, you're going to get what is the sum of the roots. So sum of the roots will become 2 upon 3 minus 3. So once you simplify that, you're going to get 2 minus 9 upon 3, which would be equals to minus 7 upon 3. Okay, now what will be the product of the roots? Product of the roots would be 2 upon 3 into minus 3. So if you do the product of the roots, 2 upon 3 into minus 3, you will get 2 into minus 1, which would be equals to minus 2. Once you get sum of the roots and the product of the roots, we'll have to use the formula. And what is the formula, students? The formula is x square minus sum of the roots. The sum of the roots is minus 7 upon 3. So minus into minus will become plus 7 upon 3 into x and plus product of the roots. So the product of the roots is minus 2, which equals to 0. So many people think, oh, this is the quadratic equation. Of course, this is a quadratic equation, no doubt about it. But then it can be further simplified because this cannot be compared with this equation, isn't it? Okay, this equation, this part of the equation cannot be compared with this equation. Why it cannot be? Why these two equations cannot be compared? Because यहाँ पर coefficient of x is 7 है, and whereas here the coefficient of x is 7 upon 3. So what we'll have to do, students, we'll have to take the LCM. LCM should be 3. Now if you do that LCM, you're going to get 3x square plus 7x minus 6 whole thing upon 3, which equals to 0. But that whole thing upon 3, when you'll get to other side of the equation and will multiply with 0, it will turn at a 0, isn't it? 0 into 3 will become 0. And now, student, it's time to compare these equations. Now you can compare these equations. So now this equation particularly can be compared with px square plus 7x plus q. These two equations can be compared. And when you compare them, you're going to get coefficient of x square is 3 and coefficient of x square is p. So value of p is 3. So that's the reason value of p is 3 here. And value of q is minus 6. Value of q is minus 6. That's the way to find the values of p and q. I hope you understood, student guys. It's a really simple, guys. It's really simple. I hope you finished doing this sum. The entire sum is on your board, on your screen. So hopefully you finished that sum.